My name is Swan Goey, and I will be doing the summary argument. Title I of the ADA, Entitled Employment, protects qualified individuals with disabilities from discrimination in their employment. The extent to which Mr. Filson is considered qualified by the negative team has been based entirely on past actions. Mr. Filson never submitted to a physical evaluation by the Big Ten Conference due to the fact his accident was never reported beyond his immediate supervise. Due to this, the Big Ten Conference references medical facts to base their evaluation off of. The Big Ten acted accordingly and offered Mr. Filson a position that still maintained the prestige of being a referee in the conference and gave reasonable accommodations for his disability, just as was done in the case of Rooney versus Koch Air. However, Mr. Filson refused the position and thus refused the accommodations that were offered to him for his conditions. The Big Ten Conference responded to the knowledge of Mr. Filson's accident in the manner it would have been responded to if the accident had been reported to the conference when it first occurred. The conference was forced to react to the news late because it was never properly reported to the conference in the first place. The failure to report and the lack of knowledge of his condition in the conference are the only reason that his termination did not happen sooner. All referees in the conference are held to the same standard of physical requirements to refer. And although there are 7 referees to accrue in a conference game, they are each responsible for their sector. Although a referee may be able to provide another view on a call for Filson, he would not be able to provide that same support. The issue isn't just his ability to make a call in his direct sector, but he wouldn't be able to reinforce call made by his adjacent counterparts. He becomes a weak link in the crew and a liability for the conference in controversial games. An example of Filson's weakness was seen when his depth perception failed him. In 2004, Mike Hart scored a touchdown against Purdue. Half of Hart's body and the ball were across the goal line. Filson called him down at the 1-yard line. The play was reviewed and Hart was awarded the score. For all the claims that Filson performed better, he was still making calls that were a direct result of his condition that could result in costing a team an important game. The high stakes of the Big Ten Conference can't allow for such failures when it wouldn't be an issue for a referee with the required visual capabilities. The angle of the replay is the only thing that corrected Filson's mistake, but this won't always be the case. The Big Ten Conference provided Filson with everything required by Title I of the ADA to continue his employment. The conference did not want to lose a valuable member, but the physical requirements of the job are set in place to provide the most capable referees the conference can provide. Filson's skills and knowledge was still an asset that was to be utilized in a position in which his visual disability would not affect the high-stake natures of the game. The fact of the case that Filson did not meet the requirements and thus became a liability to the conference when he refused to accept a new position. Termination was the only option. There is a large pool of highly qualified officials that meet all the physical requirements Filson failed to meet and have the same qualifications as Filson, thus making them more qualified for his job than he was. His refusal of a new position that would have still granted him fulfillment in his line of work as he would have still had an impact in the games. Thank you.